go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Get him up out of here!
Out of here! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
For those of you that don't know, this is in response to the article that Truth Against the Machine put out yesterday, where Phil Stair said some horribly derogatory comments about what led to the water crisis, and now obviously that has upset the community, and people are out here demanding the resignation of Phil Stair.
No peace! No justice! 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 No peace! No justice!
Yeah.
No peace! No justice! No peace!
That's right.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Water is a human right. Fight, fight, fight.
So we are marching down to where they're having a board meeting to announce or to demand the resignation or the firing of Phil Stair. We have Arthur Woodson up here who is leading the forefront here.
Fight, fight, fight.
So far, we have already been to the land bank, and Phil Stair has not been present. He has not shown up for work today yet. Though the local news has been out here, they have not put out any articles about what has happened. I checked their pages this morning, and I saw no word of them actually reporting on this, except for the one station who actually came out this morning to see why people were out here. But they didn't actually report on the story yet, as far as I know. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I hope that they would not ignore this, but it appears like to some extent they are, at least so far.
We got sold out.
You want to say anything?
No, he needs to go.
He needs to go.
He needs to go. That's about it. You
Yeah.
know, and all the rest of them. Everybody associated with him that has the same attitude
Yes.
as what he had. Matter of fact, a lot of them, he needs to start pointing out all of them that sat in the conference room with him that feels the same way he does. That's what he needs to do. Bring them all out. Because an elected official or someone in public position like that determines who gets something in the community should not be in a position of leadership because of some fact you already divisive in your mind. So you're not giving us what we all deserve equally.
So Dan Kildee said that he should be fired, but Dan Kildee's also the person who hired him. What do you think about that?
We're going to have to ask Dan Kildee what is his thoughts personally. What do he feel also?
Right.
You know, I mean, I can understand somebody can fix their mouth to tell you anything, but at the same time, what is your thoughts and what do you feel about the African American community?
Right.
And what have, find out if they have actually been, acting out on what they feel is blacks not being able to get property over on the north side.
Right.
Why is the north side getting blight money to tear down but not build up?
Right.
So now we're really seeing why it's evident why the north side looks like it does.
And he actually did talk about how they were pushing people out over to the south side.
Right, I heard that.
He said that they were pushing the derelicts out to the south side.
Right.
Yes.
So that's letting us know what they really feel.
Right, and this is the same guy who decides who can have properties in Flint.
Right.
Yes.
So because we went to see if we can get property over at Devil's Lake. It's called Flint Park. And the thing was, they told us if we didn't have a developmental plan, we can't get a property over.
Right.
And then it's a lot of people that's been trying to get the lots, and they won't sell it to them.
Right.
They want to get, land bank want it all in bulk, so that they can build on it. Because if they only get one partial, they can only build a certain size on that one partial. But if you get it in bulk, you can build a big square foot home on all 4 lots.
been told that they do sell parts of them to like high-end companies and whatnot, but they don't use them.
Right.
They're just holding them.
Right. We're stopping this. We're stopping this.
We're stopping traffic. We stop in traffic, guys. Everybody stop in traffic. So basically, this guy, Phil Stair, who is the sales manager for the land bank in Genesee County, he makes the decisions as to whether or not you can sell a property, whether you can buy a property from the land bank. And if you listen to the recordings, he makes it very clear that they are pushing people into certain neighborhoods. They are pushing the people he calls derelicts into other neighborhoods and pushing them over to the south side. So this is the same guy who is in charge of making sure that these properties go out to people, but he's setting standards that make it to where people of low income or people of color are being forced out into other neighborhoods, and that is exactly what he admits to in these audio recordings. If you listen to them, they are on Truth Against the Machine. They're right below this post. It all came out last night. There's more coming out over the next couple of days. So, but he makes it very clear that of exactly which side he stands on. And then I'm sure you guys heard what he actually said, which was disgusting. And when I went out there and took these recordings and was talking to him, I had no idea that he was going to say any of this. I was going to ask him about the governor. I was going to ask him about, like, you know, government functions and see if I could get him to talk about that. But this is what he decided to say, and this is what route he decided to take with it. So obviously it's not working out so far.
Shut it down! What do we want? Clean water! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Clean water! When do we want it? Now! We don't get it! Shut it down! We don't get it! Shut it down! We don't get it! Shut it down! What do you do when your community's under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do you do when your water's under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do you do when your future's under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do you do? Stand up, fight back! What do you do? Stand up, fight back! What do you do? Stand up, fight back! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey!
Oh shit!
Ho, ho! Phil Stair has got to go! Hey, hey!
All right, we are entering. What building is this? This is the Genesee County Treasury building.
Third floor.
All right, we're going upstairs. They're having a board meeting here. So we're going up to the board meeting. Arthur's leading the pack over here.
No, we all need this back.
Everyone's a leader.
Hey, you're going all
See
right.
how many people we can get in this elevator, guys.
We
What floor? What floor?
Third floor.
Third floor.
Third!
All right, we lost it in the elevator for a second, but here we are. See how this goes.
surprised to see us.
They surprised to see us?
Yeah, they surprised to see us. Man, my video went out.
That's right. So they're having a treasury meeting.
What?
Is that what this is?
No, this is county commission.
County Commissioner Board meeting. How coincidental it just happens to be
Genesee County Board of Commissioners.
Board of Commissioners. So, yeah, let's get everybody in here. They're having their meeting at 9.
All right, as mom at camp, I want to tell everybody let's be civil, keep ourselves intact, not make noise or be disruptive, and be respectful. But we have a right to hear what goes on here. And we're going to be peaceful. We've all been smudged. Let's maintain peace. We love these people. They do not see the error of their ways, but we love them.
Sweet of you. Oh.
Stay in prayer.
Hey, Ephraim.
Just so happens that we have a meeting.
I'm always cool.
All right, if you know anybody in Flint, now is the time to get them down here. I said we are at the Genesee County Commissioners meeting, which just happened to be down the street where we were protesting originally outside of the land bank, which, as I said, he has not showed up to work yet, so we will see. The local news is here. They're kind of following people around, but I mean, I think that there has to be some sort of action on this today, because it's not enough for Dan Kildee to say, like, oh, I think he should be fired. Dan Kildee, you're the one who hired him. I'm going to say it 100 times. Dan Kildee, you're the one who hired him. So, you know, I think you have the ability to do that yourself. Carly, is Leighton there? I don't know if Leighton is here. We'll see. I didn't even know that this was occurring until Arthur told us, because originally, like I said, we were at the land bank and we were down there, and he had not come there yet, but we decided to come down here because that's where the officials are already gathering. They just happened to be gathering down the street while we were there. Hopefully Leighton is here. Carly, you should be here right now. You should be here asking all of these beautiful questions. So I think this is a prime opportunity, though, to ask them what they plan on doing this and doing about this, and how they plan on addressing this. Because, as I said, I haven't seen it in the Flint Journal anywhere. I haven't seen it out in the local news anywhere, except for the ones who are here covering this. They did mention the article when they talked to me, but when I checked all of their pages, they have not written anything up. They have not put anything out about it. So they are aware of it, but yet they haven't said anything about it, like, yet. They're covering it now. They're covering the actions now, but I don't know if they're actually going to go in depth into covering the article, which they absolutely should. We sent it out to everybody in Flint and Detroit to see if they would pick it up, but you never know in these situations whether or not this is something that the media is going to pick up, or how they're going to go with it. You know, they could decide to take the route of, you know, he's out and this has nothing to do with us and this isn't our responsibility, and they blame it on one man's actions, or they have the right to say, you know what, we're going to defend him and we're going to blame where it came from. So those are really like the only two options, though it does appear through Dan Kildee's Twitter post that they're just going to let him be the lamb and they're just going to let him go. But you never know with these people, and I don't think that the sentiment that he used, the words that he used, I don't think that is him only. I don't think that is, you know, specific to just him. It seems like that is a very clear attitude, and he was very clear about the fact that they have been deliberately choosing to push people out of certain neighborhoods and to push people into other neighborhoods and to kind of consolidate. So, I mean, that's really the crux of the issue here, is that he made it very clear that they are very discriminatory in their practices of how they are selling their land, who they're allowing to have it, where they're allowing people to live, because you have to go through this whole process when buying land from Mr. Phil Stair of like telling them what you're going to use it for, where it's going to be, and then he gets to approve whether or not you get to buy it or not, which typically, if you don't own the lot next door, or you don't have a nonprofit or a business, he's not going to let you buy it. He's going to send you over to this neighborhood where he feels like you guys should all live. But that's why we're here. That's why everybody has gathered today to come and ask for some sort of solution on this. Again, we are still waiting for this meeting to start. I think it's going to start in 1 minute. Yeah, you don't use, Aaron, you don't use words like that freely unless it is part of the culture and accepted by the people you hang out around, which I mean, you don't say those words freely to someone you have never ever met and have only known for an hour unless those are words that you use often, unless those are words that you feel very incredibly comfortable saying, because I mean, I don't know this person at all, so to feel like they were comfortable enough to say those words to me as if this was like an acceptable behavior shows you where their mindset really is. And he didn't just say one offensive thing, he said many piles of offensive things over and over again, which just shows that this is part of his general personality and feelings and not just one thing that he accidentally said. He didn't accidentally say this because he goes on to elaborate further and to continue that conversation and to dig that hole deeper. So this isn't like he just said one thing and was like, oh, the rest of it was all sweet and adorable. No, it absolutely was not. He resigned. He resigned.
He resigned. I'm going to announce it right now.
What? He resigned. Phil Stair has resigned. This is what they have just told me from inside, that he has already resigned. They're going to announce it here in just a second inside the room, so I'm going to go back in. How did we hear this? He said that he resigned?
Yeah, they told us. They're going to say it. They're going to say it in a minute. He said they're going to say it in a minute.
He resigned. Really? He resigned. Yeah. Hey! Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear that? He resigned. He resigned. They're going to announce it here in this meeting in just a second. All right. So maybe he has already resigned.
Job well done, if so.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the Tennessee County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take roll. Present. Here. 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 Okay, we do have a forum available. We have now the invocation by Commissioner Clack, pledge allegiance by Commissioner Dillon.
Those who care to, please bow your heads. Lord, we gather here this morning in honesty and earnesty. We gather here because we know that we must do the will of the people. We were elected to do so, and we ask that those wishes be acknowledged this morning. Please provide nourishment for those who were hungry, who went to bed hungry last night. Provide shelter for those who we know need it, and individuals need it every day. Grant us the wisdom to do what we know we should do this morning, O Lord. And let's bring peace not only to this county, to this city, but to the world. And I ask, O Lord, God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Make us very much mindful of our responsibilities as servants to the people of Genesee County. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have before you the minutes of the May 15th meeting. What's your pleasure? Move the minutes, sir. Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion?
I had some discussion of the minutes, just real quickly. One second. In regards to the closed session, in the minutes it stated the vote was 7-1. I believe it was 7-2.
So they're gonna do the minutes first?
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before we go to public comments, I just got on the phone with, I was on the phone with Michelle Allen. She's gonna come down and make a statement about the individual that works for the land bank that we have some disturbing information on. She'll be here shortly, so I don't want to steal a thunder on it, but it's taken care of. It's definitely taken care of. She'll be down here shortly too. I'll allow her to make a statement on it because I don't want, that's her department. She's in charge. But she should be here shortly. When she comes in, I would like to give her an opportunity to be able to make a statement and explain what the situation is about. I know some of you guys already know, but I'd rather for her to do that at that time. Thank you.
So are you requesting to move public address to the board till after her?
I would like to.
Is that a motion?
Yes, that is a motion.
Move public address to the board after the executive director is here. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay, so Commissioner Bryant Holden, I don't know if you guys just heard it in there, but he said that he wanted to hold off to talk about the disturbing incident from the land bank and until this woman gets here. But he said it has been taken care of. It has been taken care of, and he's going to wait for her to come down here to come and make this announcement before anybody else is going to talk about it. So I think until then, they are just going to talk amongst themselves, go on to other things, but they are going to wait for her to get here to make the announcement of how it has been handled, though many of us already heard that it's been resigned. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to hear, but I don't think that Leighton is in there. I think that I looked through all of their names and I did not see him in there. I did not hear his name. So we are waiting for somebody else to come down here and announce how they have decided to handle it. I'm going to go ahead and keep the live feed going, but you guys are going to have to listen. I'll try to type what they're saying.
Legislators took the appropriation out of the budget. And I talked to Commissioner Graves, who told me that, it was mostly the representatives outside of the urban areas who really don't care whether we have a lockup or not, that they have problems that are more concerning to them. Commissioner Graves was able to get $1 million back into the budget, and perhaps there's another $1 million that's forthcoming. But we're still 2.7 million short of being able to run the Flint City lockup, as well as have tethers to deal with the overcrowding. Now, it seems to me that, it's kind of foolhardy to put the state police in here to do patrols and we have no place to put them. And I would urge, and I talked to Commissioner Henry, urge this body to either through resolution or a letter from the chair to send a letter to the governor, a local delegation, and whomever else you think is important to get this lockup funded. It's just, my concern is if we don't have the lockup, we'll return to days of yesteryear where the crime rate just rose steadily to the point where it was just lawlessness. There was no place to put the people that were committing serious crimes. So with that, I again would ask you and Commissioner Henry was the one that I talked to that raised the possibility of a resolution. And I'll answer any questions that you have.
Sheriff, how long have we been
6 years.
Commissioner Martin?
And not to correct the sheriff, but just for a correct record, as the former Commissioner Graves, current state representative.
That's correct. Thank God he was a former commissioner. He understands the gravity of the situation.
I would make a motion that we, as a board, form a resolution to the government related to this issue. Because we definitely need to have a lockup. Because, you know, in the past, before the lockup, we had a number of folks that would just get appearance tickets, and they wouldn't show up to court. And a lot of times, by us having a lockup, it helped deter a lot of instances like with domestic violence. And sometimes, if you have one of those situations, if you can just get one of the individuals away from that situation, it can de-escalate. So I think that, along with some of the other things that they're doing proactively, I think it's very important to have that lockup in place.
So your motion is for the board to have a resolution
drafted
to authorize the chair to sign a letter
Yes.
to the state on that.
Yes.
Been moved supported, Commissioner Black and Commissioner Henry.
I'd like that resolution or the letter, Sheriff, to reflect the fact that we still are owed monies from the state dealing with the water situation, and that why, as we still owe this money, we cannot assume any additional large amount of money in our budget. It's just not there. So I think if that resolution or add a letter to reflect the point that the state still owes us for the monies that we put up in the beginning, that it may have some bearing, but that's important. We can't assume an additional responsibility.
My only concern on that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, is that, you know, to look at the numbers, to determine actually what was overtime or non-allocated funds versus allocated funds and what was spent on the process. I hate to dilute, you know, this particular issue when the other issue.
And I understand in some kind of way we can tweak it so that attention would be given to the fact that we don't have $2 million, you know, so that money has to come from the state. That's my point. So however we can
And
tweak
part
it.
of how we spend money to support the
Yes.
citizens of Flint and Jesse
It's necessary, but we don't have it. So what's next?
I think was in response to Commissioner Clack, I think the former chair either misrepresented or did not understand the work of the office of sheriff and what we were doing during the water crisis. And perhaps, you know, there might be another letter sent to the appropriate people saying that the former chair either misrepresented or misunderstood what was going on during the water crisis to get water to the people. The sheriff's office was the first group of people out there, and it wasn't until a couple of weeks later that the state police and others came in, and I had people like Commissioner Nolden, yourself, Mr. Chairman, and others that were going door to door delivering the water, and somehow that message did not get to the proper people at the state level. And I see a lot of people here that are supporting water and different issues. And, you know, we ought to let everybody know that that effort started right here by us. And somehow that message didn't get to the state and to the government.
And Mr. Chair, if we ignore that, if we ignore that fact, it will be accepted that it's okay. So we've got to keep it out there. And we cannot ignore that fact.
And Sheriff, I believe you were here. Who was which municipality was the first one to file a public emergency on that issue?
I recommended to the former chair and to this body that an emergency be declared, and that was done by this body, and we did almost immediately. We were out providing bottled water to all of the residents. We started in the oldest areas where the homes were the oldest in the city. When the pipes were bad, you know, they were the most rusted pipes. And it's just unimaginable to me that the former chair somehow got that confused.
And I believe the public emergency was declared by this body October the 1st, 2015, is that correct?
Absolutely.
That's, I'm saying, three of us were here at that point in time.
We were.
When the declaration was declared, so, and we were the first ones to declare it, because we couldn't get information from the state to answer questions that we had. I appreciate it. We have a motion on the floor. Commissioner Henry?
I just want to state, I think it's essential that we request and hopefully receive this grant, because it's an important tool in our jail overcrowding problem. They can control it.
I mean, I think as a part of that resolution, the governor's office ought to be reminded what would be the purpose of having the state police in here doing patrols if we don't have any place to put the people that violate the law. I mean, it just seems foolhardy, you know, penny wise, pound foolish, to do that and not fund the lockup.
Lastly, Mr. Chair, I'd like to have it forwarded to Congressman Phil's office as well. It might be funny even he could.
And I'm meeting, Mr. Chair, at 10 o'clock this morning, I'm meeting with State Senator Ananick to discuss another issue about stricter penalties for animal abuse. But it's during that meeting I'm also going to mention to him the importance of our local delegation getting behind this and supporting.
Thank you. The Corporation Council is in the process of writing the resolution. There are no questions. They'll be able to present that to us later during the meeting. I'd like to just postpone that until we get that move forward on this. There are no objections. Moving on, I did see, thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your.
We move as forward.
I would wait until we get the resolution.
Okay.
All right, I did see the Executive Director of the Land Bank come in, Michelle Wildman.
Thanks. So in light of the stories that I'm sure all of you have read by now, I wanted to come here and appreciate the opportunity to let you know that this morning I accepted the resignation of Phil Stair. I am deeply troubled about the statements that were made and any insinuation that that type of practice or dialogue may have been used within the doors of the land bank. More than anything, well, maybe second only to clean water, the citizens of Flint deserve to have trust in their public officials. And I'm deeply troubled, and on behalf of the staff and board of directors, I know I speak for everybody in apologizing for any deterioration of that public trust. It's absolutely unacceptable. And so with that said, I'll take the questions.
Commissioner Nolan.
Thank you, Michelle. I mean, you sent me the email last night before that information, and I was very, very troubled by it. And I'm really happy that you took swift action. And I'm glad that Phil Stair, that's the guy, actually tendered his resignation today, because I was very troubled by the statement. I looked at each one of the videos. There was, I think, 2 short ones, and then it was long, 20 minutes. And I sat there and I watched the entire 20 minutes, and I was really taken back by those statements. So I'm a member of the Land Bank Board, and I'm glad that you reached out to me. I reached out to Commissioner Clack, and I sent the link to Commissioner Ellenberg, and Mark and I talked about it. So I'm glad that we've taken swift action on it, and by me being a member of the Land Bank Board, I know that that's not the way that we do business. We try to be good stewards for the community, and I'm just glad that you were able to come
second thought was, are these feelings permeated at the land bank? I don't know how you can deal with this, but obviously, Mr. Stair felt comfortable in making those statements, and that disturbs me. I'm concerned about that, and in such a cold way, because his livelihood came from those people that he was talking about, dealing with those people that he was talking about. So if that's the attitude, and I know, you know, you're new with us, but it concerns me. Who else has a feeling about our citizens as he had? And to be old enough to do it in public? It really does concern me. So, you know, sometimes retreat, sometimes digging deeply into the souls of your employees may do it. However, I would love to see you go further. And I see you're disturbed. And that makes me more comfortable because I see that you're disturbed about that. But again, my concern is, who else has this feeling?
Absolutely. We're having an all-staff meeting this afternoon where we're going to talk candidly about any statements that they have made. Frankly, some things I've talked to a few community members already are about bringing in a consultant to perhaps talk or speak to or train on customer service or tactics for communication. Standing here, I don't believe that this reflects the sentiments of the understaffed at the land bank. You know, as I know you're aware, we work to keep people in their homes when they've been the victim of fraud or are perhaps tenants, for example, that may not have been aware that properties that come to us all are through tax foreclosure. And so I know that we work with individuals who are sometimes have terrible trauma in their households to try to keep them. And so for those reasons, I don't believe that those sentiments are reflected on the part of the rest of the staff. But I definitely intend to find out. As you point out, I've only been around 6 months. So there probably is a lot about the culture that I haven't yet learned. But I assure you that I intend to do everything in my power to make sure that that's the case, and if necessary, change the culture so that we are being more responsive to, frankly, to people's feelings.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing no other questions. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
At this time, we'll move ahead. Public address to the board. Is there any public address to the board? We'll have 2 minutes, and we'll need your names and address, please.
Yes, Arthur Woodson, 402 West Stewart Avenue, Michigan. I'm disturbed because only 2 blacks spoke and nobody else spoke. Mr. Henry, I know you personally. I know that this isn't just Phil Stair's, the way he feels. There's a couple more of y'all up here that feel the same way because y'all don't think Flint is even part of the county. So I know that some of you have that same attitude. Mr. Henry, I have paperwork and everything else of where you and Tracy Tucker and the Flint Township Commission discriminated against veterans. You came out after we had got a work permit and stopped our work. You also, on the planning commission, even stated that you all do not want substance abuse, mental ill veterans walking around in your nice area where I was getting ready to start veteran housing. So I already know that you discriminate against disabled veterans. So
at this point in time, I would just ask you to refrain from personal attacks.
Okay, well, all right, no personal attacks yet. Well, I'll just say that it's evident that the land bank is a Ponzi scheme, that you all will not allow the blacks or have-nots to even purchase partials. My uncle tried to get a lot. They say wait 90 days, and then they won't even give it to him. Over at Devil's Lake, they doing developmental. The only way you can get a lot over there is if you come in with a developmental plan. We know that this is a Ponzi scheme. The water, I heard him speak about the water that you are, and I mean, you really wanted to put it out there that Genesee County was the first to do it. Why did you wait until October when the lead experts was coming in? Why you didn't do it prior? Because March, Leanne's house tested high. Why didn't you call emergency when our TTHLs? All right, well, thank you very much.
How you doing? My name is Timothy Abdul-Mateen. I'm a resident in 3618 Providence. I just wanted to touch on the incident as well, how it made me feel and my family and those from my community. I mean, we already know that those type of implicit biases exist, but to go on record and to express that so freely, it's a concern. Like Ms. Clack said, it makes me concerned. Not only are you showing bigotry in your statements, but to say that, the water, what's going on with this water happened because these type of people, the N-word that he used, they don't pay their water bill. When over 40% of Flint is living in poverty, especially in the north side, and apologies is good, don't get me wrong. But it's, more than an apology, more than a resignation. How are you, people in leadership, elected officials, how can we assure the people that these type of things is not only tolerated, it's not, we don't tolerate these things, but is it a bigger issue, like you said, Ms. Clank? Is it something that's, he feel too comfortable saying that? How do we attack that from a systemic standpoint to abolish that? And, one of my recommendations is that somehow, some way, people need to connect to the people in the community and assure them they are already dealing with, liens being on their property for not paying their water bills, the lead in the water prices, not knowing when their pipe's gonna get replaced, and then to have somebody say, and the niggers are responsible for this water crisis because they don't pay their water bill, is unacceptable. Something needs to be done more than the public policy.
I just want to say, I think most of the board members did not have this information because we just got it last night, and I did send it, but I sent it about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So that might be the reason why a lot of the commissioners didn't speak to it, because a lot of the commissioners didn't get an opportunity to read it. But I shared it with a few of the commissioners this morning, but they had not had a chance to see the gist of the whole conversation. I did, and I shared it with Commissioner Clack, and Mark and we talked as well. So that's one of the reasons why my colleagues, I think, probably did not speak to this, because they might not be comfortable speaking on something that they don't have the full picture of. I actually have a full picture of it because, like I said, the 20 minutes, I listened to the entire thing, and it was very troubling. But I do think that, sensitivity training needs to take place. I think we do need to connect with residents. I'm a resident of the city of Flint. I stay at 74 East London. I'm right in one of the highest lit areas in the city of Flint. So I definitely deal with this. I run Burston Field House right in the middle of the city. So I do understand the frustration of the residents here. And I try to be as proactive as I possibly can. And that's one of the reasons why when Michelle sent me the text last night saying that she needed me to contact her, I called her immediately. And that's how I got the information. So I do applaud on taking swift action as it relates to this. And, we're gonna move forward, because I think that this board, this new board that we have, we work together very, very well. And we try to do the work of the people. We might not always get it right the way that you might want us to do it, but we feel that we're doing a good job to try to do this kind of thing. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there any other public comments on the board? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Claire McClinton, and I would have liked to have seen Deb Cheery here to make that announcement about the resignation. That's one point.
address?
On 129 West Jameson, Flint. The horrific comments that was recorded on the tape that everyone's talking about now, his resignation should just be a beginning, not an end, because public policy that we are experiencing in the city of Flint is a reflection of what Mr. Stair has said. Ordinances and policies and positions taken by leaders such as yourself, you don't have to use the N-word. You don't have to rail against the poor, but you sure can do it in your public policies or lack thereof. We still have tremendous health problems. We still have toxic water problems. We still pay the highest water bills in the country. And we still have a democracy problem. We do not control our own city. So public policy, you can resign, you can fire somebody, but your public policies is reeked with everything that was said in a lot of cases. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gertrude Marshall. I stay at 1408 Volunteer Drive, Flint Township. I would just like to know, Arthur Woodson stated that someone didn't want to give permission for them to open up a veteran's home. I just want to know why was that? Because these men and women, they're good enough to go fight and get their minds messed up for us, but they're not good enough to take care of. Then secondly, I would like to know, why did it take y'all so long to move on the water action? When the TTHMs first came out, why didn't you guys move then? Why did y'all wait so long to move? That's all I want to know.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Going twice? Going 3 times? Public comments now closed. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, moving on. Board resolution E1, resolution authorizing the board chair to sign the local law.
All right, everybody, we heard it. Phil Stair has resigned. I hope that this does not sweep anything under the rug, that they don't just say, oh, Phil Stair has resigned, so now everything's fine and we don't have to address this and the problem has been fixed, because the problem is not fixed by one person. If this guy can say all this to someone he's known for an hour, he's saying it all day, everywhere else that he goes. And he's saying it around his friends. So this is a victory that he resigned, but it's not a total win. We're not off the hook now. You know, Flint is not saved now because Phil Stair isn't in power anymore. We proved that reporting can work, investigating can work.
Good job,
Chelsea. We can get rid of them one at a time. One at a time. Yeah.
That's fine. One at a time.
At least for now, one at a time. Eventually, we can try to go for the whole lot at once.
Did you know about the International Water Conference this weekend?
I did not.
Okay, I'm going to send the information. I will.
It was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, dear.
Yeah.
Thank you for an outstanding scoop.
Thank you.
This is the scoop of the century here in Flint.
Hey, I couldn't have known. Yeah.
But you had the heart to put it out. So
thank you. Thank you. It's a small victory, guys. Small victory. So, you know, at least they didn't totally push it under the rug. He has resigned. I don't know what happens from here, but we do have more articles coming, more audio recordings coming. This was just the first wave. This was just the first article. So there is more coming over the next couple of days that's going to show you how deep he goes into this. And I think one thing that, like, they did bring it up in this meeting, but one thing that they didn't really dive into is that he very clearly makes the point that their goal is gentrification of Flint. If it wasn't, then they wouldn't be pushing people out of certain neighborhoods. Everybody in. All right, we're being called back inside.
Do you think there will be training now about racist comments or how to deal with different type of people, just to make sure everybody doesn't feel like he does?
Yeah, so as I told the commissioner, I don't think that that's the case, but I am new and I certainly don't know everything. Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't know everything. So we're going to have conversations about it, perhaps look at trainings, whether it be on customer service or cultural competency or other things that may help to just assure that that this isn't something that's more prevalent than just this one individual.
Did Phil seem remorseful at all when you were talking to him?
The letter that he wrote expresses deep remorse. I don't know Phil that well. However, I hope that anyone that would have used those words should feel horribly about the effect they could have on the community.
Okay, and just the next steps. What's now? What's the next step?
As I mentioned, we're gonna talk. We're gonna start to heal. We're gonna engage the community, and we're gonna see how we can continue the critical work of the land bank, which is assisting with neighborhoods and employing.
Thank you so much.
When you got people applying for properties and lots and they being denied, you think people don't have that, people in those positions doesn't have that sentiment that Mr. Stair had. So it's going to make us look at it even deeper.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to hold it? You want to hold it? I got you.
Chelsea, just so I can Chelsea?
Chelsea Lyon.
Spell what name?
CHELSTALYONS.
Any satisfaction knowing that Phil Stair has resigned?
I'm happy that he has resigned, but I don't think that this is going to fix the problem, and I hope that people don't say that now that Phil is gone, this problem has gone away, because anybody who feels free enough to say those comments to someone that they've only known for an hour is probably saying it to everybody they know. This is an epidemic. It's not just one man.
Timothy was saying it's systemic.
Yes, absolutely. And he very clearly talks about the fact that they are pushing people out of certain neighborhoods. He calls them derelicts, and that they are pushing them out to the south side and the east side because they don't want them anymore. So we can't sit here and say that there isn't a plan of gentrification at this point.
Will you keep a closer eye on the land bank?
Absolutely. We're already keeping a close eye on the land bank.
And what more will you do to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, we have more articles coming out over the next couple of days. There are more audio files coming. More information is coming. We're not done. That was just the first wave of it. There's more that's going to come out, and we're going to keep an eye on this. We're not going to let this die. The land bank knows what they're doing. They are taking up these properties. They're only giving them out to certain people, and it has been proven that their sales manager used discriminatory processes when it came to giving out these properties. So now that that's out there, we're going to have to work on what the land bank is going to do to remedy this and to change the way that they're treating the people of Flint.
Okay. And forgive me, are you the one who wrote the article for the...
I'm the one who took the audio recording.
Okay. And the name of the website is...
Truth Against the Machine.
I can remember the T. Okay.
And there's more coming.
All right. Against Phil Stair or others?
Against Phil Stair.
Okay.
Did he know that he was being recorded?
No. Okay. Thank you. All right, everybody. Job well done.